And howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Word, Praise, and Wisdom number 35. Howdy, Lynn.
Hey.
Howdy, Landon.
What's up?
Look at where all the N's today. Jonathan, Lynn, Landon. Okay. Today, we are continuing in Proverbs, starting with chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, and wrapping it up with 20. Is everybody having a good day so far?
Productive.
Es muy productivo. Okay.
Very productive. Very productive day of rest, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay. It does. Let's go ahead and pray in, and then we'll get rolling on the word here.
Two things before you start.
Okay.
Well, just prayer request. I have a buddy who just lost both of his kidneys, co-worker of mine, and then one of the brethren went to go take care of some family out of state, sold everything that they had, and then when they got there was some mental illness with the party they were going to take care of, and it kind of turned into a thing where they ended up stranded. So anyway, you just keep them in your prayers.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely. All right. Father, thank you very much for bringing us together to fellowship with our brothers and sisters that are your children in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Yeshua Messiah. We just ask for you to pour out your spirit of knowledge and understanding on us as we read through this book of wisdom and understanding, so that we get the message that you need us to have. As Landon just requested, we would ask for your touch, your comforter on the person with both kidneys now missing, and also on the person that seems to be stranded, and let them reach out so that they can get help. As we often know, you never know until you ask. Maybe someone can get them out of there. And we would also ask for people that have been injured by trauma recently and that are battling illness, that you put your touch on them, heal them, bring them to a point where you can use them as you see fit. Thank you, Father. We love you. In Jesus Yeshua's name, amen. All righty. Let's start with Proverbs 16. The preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. A man's heart deviseth his way, excuse me, but the Lord directeth his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. 'Tis an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth, laboureth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is as a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord.
Okay, chapter 17. Better is a dry morsel and quietness therewith than an house full of sacrifices with strife. A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causes shame, and shall have part in the inheritance among the brethren. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord trieth the hearts. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Excellent speech becometh not a fool, much less do dying lips a prince. A gift is as precious stone in the eyes of him that hath it. Whithersoever it turneth, it prospereth. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that reproacheth a matter separateth very friends. A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. An evil man seeketh only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man rather than a fool in his folly. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water, therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abominations to the Lord. Wherefore is there a price on the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he hath no heart to it? A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man void of understanding striketh hands, and becomes surety in the presence of his friends. He loveth transgression that loveth strife, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. He that hath a froward heart findeth no good, and he that hath a perverse tongue falleth into mischief. He that begetteth a fool doth it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool hath no joy. A merry heart doeth good like the medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. Wisdom is before him that hath understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bare him. Also to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
Chapter 18. Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinion. When wickedness comes, contempt comes also, and with dishonor comes disgrace. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. It is not good to be partial to the wicked, or to deprive the righteous of justice. A fool's lips walk into a fight, and his mouth invites a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, and his lips are a snare to his soul. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. Whoever is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. A rich man's wealth is his strong city, and like a high wall in his imagination. Before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. If one gives an answer before he hears, it is his folly and shame. A man's spirit will endure sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? An intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ears of the wise seek knowledge. And the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. The one who the one who states in his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him. The lot puts an end to quarrels and decides between powerful contenders. A brother offered is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. He is satisfied by the yield of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor use entreaties, but the rich answer roughly. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.
Proverb 19. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, that soul be without knowledge, it is not good. And he that hasteth with his feet sinneth. The foolishness of man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against the Lord. Wealth make a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. All the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul, and he that keepeth understanding shall find good. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. Delight is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. A foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. His house and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. He that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his ways shall die. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. A man of great wrath shall suffer punishment, for if thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again. Hear counsel, and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. A slothful man hideth his hand in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Smite a scorner, and the simple will beware. and reprove one that hath knowledge, that hath understanding, and he will understand knowledge. He that wasteth his father and chaseth away his mother is a son that causeth shame and bringeth reproach. Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth to err from the words of knowledge. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the backs of fools.
Chapter 20. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold, therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? A just man walketh in his integrity, his children are blessed after him. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean, I am pure from sin? Diverse weights and diverse measures, both of them are like abomination to the Lord. Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord hath made even both of them. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. It is not, said the buyer, but when he is gone his way, then he boasteth. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge for him for a strange woman. Bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel. Every purpose is established by counsel, and with good advice make war. He that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets. Therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. Whoso curses his father and his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed. Say not thou, I will recompense evil, but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee. Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? It is a snare to the man who devoureth that which is holy, and after vows to make an enquiry. A wise king scattereth the wicked, and bringeth the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy. The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head. The blueness of a wound cleanseth away evil, so do stripes and the inward parts of the belly. So do stripes the inward parts of the belly.
Okay. Well, let's go back and take a gander here at Proverbs 16. Howdy, effed up. Yeah, glad to have you, man. Let's see. All right. So let's see. I don't think I have anything until a few verses in. So if you got something, speak up. Talk to me.
Verse 5.
Okay.
Well, talking about that pride, and don't be joining hands with that.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be punished.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually, I'm looking at that.
I was thinking verse 2 it probably has a lot to do with why so many people argue, specifically in a Christian setting,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote. Yeah.
Yep. In that I believe there's more that subject is broached a little later on as well.
Yes.
But it's very interesting talking about everybody's going to be weighed. So that. All right. What else do we have in here? That jumped out at you. Oh,
Eric, sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, you already said that.
Okay.
You already said verse 5. Yeah.
11 is what I was looking for. Just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of his bag are his work. So that, it's interesting. If everybody's going to be weighed, all our actions are going to be weighed. But his balances are just. His balance is just, and his weights are just. Kind of jumps out for me in the Torah, right? In the books of Moses, where he says, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. We don't know why people did a certain thing.
So,
Are you going to say, that's not fair, God?
it's really interesting. One, the way it describes it, and it made me think of like a multi-dimensional scale. If it was an interesting thought. But two, it's an interesting notion of the Pharisees arguing with Jesus when he healed on the Sabbath or picked corn on the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
To eat, and it's like, but one of your dudes said that.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just, it kind of stood out.
Well, I don't know. I know in the past I've said, why do you let this happen? That's not fair, God. How dare you, God? Yep, that's right. I've been there. Remember me being rebuked in my spirit. Wow, this thing's on wiggle alert. Okay. Anyways, talking about being rebuked in my spirit and actually saying, I rebuke you, Abba. Whoa. That snaps you to attention.
Just a little bit. It
It's
should.
Yeah, it's like the little. I feel like the little toddler that smacks their dad's hand for telling them not to do something.
Right.
That reminds me, the little kids out in the storage room when I put the bowl out there with the food in there, and if the mom's in there, the little kids will smack her head and push it out of the bowl.
Yep, like that.
I might be getting a little off subject, but I was reading this lady who was like, the things that my daughter cried about today. She was mad because I wouldn't let the dog drive us to school, and then it's like other silly things like that. But that might be a good analogy at how God looks at some of our requests.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just let me win the lottery. Well, there's a lot
with all that money.
Yeah. It's interesting because in verse 18, we seem to have modernized that as pride goes before the fall. And it may say it exactly worded like that somewhere else, but here it's interesting. It says pride goes before destruction, but actually go is added. So pride before destruction and an haughty spirit before a fall. Arrogant, haughty.
That would be confidence on steroids.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So now we have to look it up.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so what it has is haughty as Hebrew 1363 goba, elation, grandeur, arrogance. Yep. And it's from the word 1361, meaning soar or be lofty or be haughty. And that's haughty, not like ooh, check out that hottie in the bikini. It's H-A-U,
Not that haughty.
yeah, Haughty. So that, for those of us not familiar with that, it is arrogantly superior and disdainful. Very interesting.
Disdainful.
I know. And arrogant. What do we have here? That, right? Yeah, anger, disdain. Oh, my thing is working. Not. Howdy, pedo. But yeah, arrogance with anger. Excuse me. Better of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Yeah.
Where you at, bro? Oh,
Okay. Oh, that's right. Sorry. The 19, verse 19 is where I was. What else do y'all have?
number 20. I know I've had this experience, and I believe you've talked about it before too, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever focusing on the Father just makes the chaos with something that seems chaotic or something, like you ever find yourself emotional in the moment and then you just stop to focus on the word or pray about something and everything just kind of makes sense.
Right.
Or you just have that moment of faith where you're just like, I don't know what it's gonna do, but I'm just gonna do what I feel, what you're telling me to do, and then it just makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like oh my gosh, how are we going to cross that huge lake in front of us? And then you stop and say, okay, you've got this, Abba, and then you look back at the lake and it's a puddle.
Right.
Just not a big thing at all. I don't have anything. I jumped ahead to 24, verse 24 of Proverbs 16. But here, this is kind of like the inverse of the wicked tongue. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. And that, sometimes it's all it takes is a little word of encouragement to somebody, especially after someone else has given them a tongue lashing.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I'm guilty of this, and I've been trying to change it. But, when somebody says, God's really moving my heart to, I don't know, pull drug prostitutes off the street and teach them a trade or something. Yeah, good luck with that. Just automatically dismiss it. Whereas we could be saying, oh, that's awesome. More people should be doing that.
Power of life and death.
The power of life and death are in the tongue. Yeah.
We need to cheer each other on.
Amen. Yep. What else do we have? Talk to me.
Ah! So don't talk to him, Red. 27 and 28 kind of go along with that,
Right.
An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and his lips as a burning fire.
Yep.
And then we get into the next verse. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends. And that just reminded me of like gossip and that type of thing.
Yeah, and I can remember people telling me about having is this thing wigging out again. that people telling me about, what was it? That, I don't know, it sounded like they were jealous because these people were such good friends, and everybody went on a camping trip, and they did things that ended up breaking those people's friendships, and they were like, ha ha ha, that was so funny, and this is decades and decades ago. And even then, I was like, that's wrong to do something like that. But that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to conceive sometimes where people's heads are at. I've had a lot of experiences where you just kind of forget sometimes people aren't on the same wavelength as you, as far as like what I'm trying to say is, like, I forget sometimes people can be very selfish, very wicked, and it's hard to conceive when you're not like on that level, and it's surprising when it happens.
It is. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Which leads to 29.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be a good neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And not like State Farm. For those of you that watch the news, that. And then I don't have anything until 32. But slow to anger is better than being mighty. And look at that last clause there. He that ruleth his own spirit is basically mightier than him that takes a city, or is able to take a city.
What do you think that? I'm gonna have to dig into that one on the Hebrew, because it says he that rules his own spirit. Is that like pertaining to oh, I feel like having a drink. Oh, I feel like doing this. So just like.
I think it's what I believe it to be is the person that's not swayed by their emotions of the moment.
Right. That's
Look how many people. Look how often, the world, or Babylon, or the dragon's kingdom, however you want to look at it, will say, look how this is affecting children. That's why we need to all succumb to this power.
Right. We fight. Yeah, we fight for a woman's right for abortion, but then we want to save the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Hypocrisy in its finest.
And then what is this last one? The lot is cast into the lap. And that, let's
Aren't you
take a look.
supposed to cast the lot on the ground or something?
So lot,
Lot casting.
goral, rough, stone, pebble. So yeah, that's the same thing we see as lot throughout Scripture. Hebrew 2904. Cast is a tool. Pitch or reel. And then what? Now lap is Hebrew 2436. Cake, coke, meaning to enclose, or bosom.
Bosom, bottom, lap, midst, within.
Okay, I think I'm getting this now. So basically, you can cast lots, but no matter what, it's Abba that is ultimately going to be the decision. He's going to be the deciding factor. And if it's something that's to come to pass, if he's been sought beforehand, consulted beforehand, and you're still casting lots, he's going to make the lot go the way he needs it to go, is how I'm seeing it.
or you play the lottery and win anyway, and then get hit by a bus.
It can happen.
I'm not saying that's guy. I don't know. Just thinking. Like that's more like towards rebellion. Like I'm gonna win the lottery. God, and yeah.
Yep. Okay. What do we have for 17?
A servant who deals wisely will rule over a son who acts shamefully. Huh. Yeah, I get that. Okay.
Right?
Behave.
Like that dude that raised Bruce Wayne.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's like I think that's kind of the spirit over America, especially like I've been looking a lot at like travel and stuff, and I've got friends that travel the world, or colleague like coworkers and stuff that they go around. He's like, you can immediately tell when somebody's American, and in just another country because of the way of their behavior if they have to wait in a line, and that. Anyway, so that sense of entitlement that we're kind of the culture that we have, when someone is trying to build their castle or their business or whatever, and they have a loyal servant instead of an entitled child who won't go out there and mow the grass,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the next verse, we keep bringing this up, right? And there it all is in one verse, right? The fining pot or refining is for silver, furnace for gold, but it is Yahuwah who tries hearts. He's the one that tries our heart with fire and refines us and gives us wisdom, which is better than gold.
Yeah.
What about 5? People that mock the poor are a reproach to their maker, is what it says in the King James, and that maker is capitalized. So I'm wondering what word that is. Hebrews 6:213, do make, followed by a big bunch of suppositions. But the word is asah. Yep. And the last part of that verse also goes, right? He that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. And I believe that goes with don't rejoice when your enemy falls, lest, lest Yah take his favor from you.
Yeah, he that shows mercy will be given mercy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And look at that. Talking about grandchildren in verse 6. Who can relate to that? Anybody here? Okay.
I'm waiting for another one soon.
Yeah, I know my aunt. Oh my goodness, my aunt used to love listening to her grandchildren. She would just giggle and giggle. She just thought they were the greatest things.
My mother too. We used to go out to eat, and those little kids would just have her in stitches.
Yeah. Yep. My friend, he's passed away now, but he was going on about he would always go out of his way to go spend time with his grandchildren. He was like, I said, do you have a good time? He says, yeah, man. He says, I have fun with them. He says, they like me. They play games with me. They ask me for advice. They think I'm funny. If I would have known about grandchildren, I would have had them first.
Right.
Well, Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. Everybody loves the giggling child,
Right.
unless you're on the end of their taunts.
Unless they're squealing and really
Right.
loud in your ear.
I have a friend of mine, that their daughter's so charismatic. Just having a conversation. She's like 3. I don't, she's real young, but she's got such a personality. She's just fun to be around and interact with. Like it's just hilarious the whole time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
They're so precious.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
no, well, I don't. Unless you got something in between there and 8, or were you gonna?
No, go ahead.
So mine says a bribe is like a magic stone.
Huh. That's interesting.
Right. I thought the same thing.
So this says precious. A gift is as a precious stone.
Yeah, this is English Standard Version, and it's got at the bottom it says "or precious," but I'm just like, that's
It's
weird.
Hebrews 7810 is translated as gift, shakad, donation, and then Hebrews 7809, shakad is donate or bribe. So, and then precious, my precious, that is Cain.
Who?
Cain, yeah. K-A, well, I don't know how it's spelled in Hebrew, but the phonetic is K-H-A-N-E.
It's
From graciousness, kindness, favor, beauty. It's from Hebrew 2603, Kanan, like Canaan.
Mhm.
Bend, favor, bestow, implore.
Interesting.
Yep. Word on that. That's true. Something that I was really grateful to learn because we took parenting classes was you can put a screaming child down and walk away. It's okay.
they
Yeah.
can comfort. They learn. That's how they learn to self-soothe and get themselves down. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was going to talk about 10, but then I think 10. No, it wasn't 10. It was 11. But 9 jumped out at me when you mentioned 8, right? He that covers a transgression seeks love, right? Someone that forgives, you're seeking love. But he that repeats a matter separates friends. And I'm just thinking about, in the past, you did this to me and I'm your friend.
Mm-hmm.
It made me think of a meme that some girl posted about. Of course, I saved text messages in case he want to lie about what he did in 1972.
Right? Okay, so 11, here talking about rebellion. Evil seeketh rebellion, only rebellion. Therefore, a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. And this, I'm getting a lot in that Saul was told, because he didn't obey God, that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, right? When Jesus, Yeshua, asked the disciples, told them, do you guys got a sword? If not, you need to sell your cloaks and get a sword. No, we got 2 swords here. He's like, okay, because the prophecy still has to be fulfilled that I need to be numbered with the transgressors. So sword, transgressor. And we know that there was a lot of people rebelling against Rome, right? They freed Barabbas. And I just, find this interesting. But right now we have huge swaths of people preaching from the pulpit. We need to rise up and strike this evil down. Yet we see constantly, again and again and again and again, throughout Psalms, Proverbs, and Scripture in general, the evil people are going to make their own snare. And they're going to be trapped in their own snare. And why are you designating yourself to be the executor of Yah's judgment.
Yeah.
And we're releasing Barabbases all the time.
I'm speaking of someone that's coming from that mindset that, you hear me talk about it. I worshipped at the altar of red, white, and blue, little g God, capital C country. This whole nation, or at least the way we have it shoved down our throat, is, the spirit of rebellion. It's as witchcraft. But then you have people pointing out all these things. Look at all the witchcraft we have set up. The way they built our monuments and our government. And blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you want to partake in that?
Stop making contracts with that.
Yeah, stop making contracts with them. Right?
Proverbs tells you not to do that.
Yeah. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, 12, too, jumped out at me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that... Basically, let me paraphrase this. You are better off dealing with Mama Bear that you stole her cubs from than you are with a fool that's acting foolishness. That's acting foolish.
Right.
You are... Man,
That's pretty harsh.
That's pretty harsh right there. You are better off dealing with an angry mama bear than somebody pursuing a path of being a fool. Okay.
$13, great way to curse your whole house.
13?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is that what happened next door?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Huh. Glad I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. What else do y'all have?
I didn't have anything till 22 and 23, so.
Okay, that 17, a friend loves at all times, good and bad, and a brother is born for adversity.
Mine was my adversity. Boy, what a friend he has been. That's the first thing I thought of when I read that. I was like, my brother, he was born for adversity, but he's helping me out here with my adversity.
Okay, so what did you think? What was it? That 2021?
Oh, yeah, 22, 23.
Oh, 22, 23? Okay.
Well, I think it's good because, you can really bring people up when they're down. If you're just happy, if you're bright, that kind of lifts them up, I think.
Right. Oh, yeah.
23, I just remind me of bribes.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
It just kind of reminds me of like the movies where someone's like, hey, I have a little something for you. And they reach in their coat and pull out the envelope with the bribe money or whatever.
Mine says bribes, but it's got sacrifices at the bottom.
Yeah. I think we're seeing a lot of this now too. If you go down to 26, to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. Right. There's a lot of people that are doing things right. They're calling out evil. That are being punished and imprisoned. And then we have also too, right? They need to pay their fair share. They need to pay their fair share. Or what's the other one? You need to open your house up for, even though you've worked for 40 years building everything up, you need to You need to open it, give everything you got so everybody sees. Right? How old is that? They're acting like it's something new. No. This was written thousands of years ago.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
And then 27 is paraphrased, right?
Mhm.
Wise man is a few words. We keep seeing that mentioned.
All right.
All right. Anything else for 17? To 18 we go then. All right. Now, what does yours say in 18, verse 1, Landon?
Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment. What you got?
It says, through desire a man, having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. So basically, kind of sounds like don't seek your own counsel to me. Right? Because we can always encourage ourselves that GR, your fair share of what I have is equal to 0%.
Yeah, I guess on the negative side of that, like, especially like fear based, there's some things where we just think on something and dwell on it, and then when we go to talk about it to somebody, like you've built this whole thing up in your mind, and then you say it out loud, and you're like, that sounds really stupid, doesn't it? I wish I just would have said it out loud. But yeah, like, okay, I get that. Like, so, I mean, that's more based in like fear, but it's like that's one result of just you can convince yourself of almost anything. You really can.
Now, what does yours say for verse 2?
A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing his opinions.
And that the way it's worded in the King James is, but that his heart may discover itself. And I just think about all the people that are like, I need to go find out. I'm going to go find myself. I'm going to go discover myself, is what that reminded me of.
Huh.
I just thought that was interesting. This is why we like people reading with different translations, too. All you people who want to read, right?
You people.
That GR, if she had read today, she was talking about using her Septuagint.
Oh,
which would be good.
that would be good.
Yep. Okay, what are we doing? What else do you have? That 6. Fools. Go ahead.
No, I was waiting on one of y'all to say it.
Oh, a fool's lips enter into contention. Right, always arguing. Well, just to play the devil's advocate, and his mouth calleth for strokes. That person needs to be beaten.
Should have been talking smack.
Well, that 9 really jumped out at me. If you don't have something before that, I thought that was interesting. But basically, the lazy person is a brother to him that wastes resources, basically.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, but why in verse 8, the words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels?
Right.
I'm not getting it.
Well, here it's the words of a talebearer as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Gossip, basically.
I got you. The way mine's worded, I couldn't get careless whisper out of my head. That saxophone.
Thank you. I'll be sending you a unskinny bop later.
I was like, it didn't make any sense though. I'm like, the words of a okay, so somebody gossiping in secret. I get that. All right, I get it.
Right. All right. What else? Anything else? Come on. Bring it.
Okay, well, I had the last verse, so.
Okay. Well, now we know who to blame, GR. I'm just teasing. Okay. Anyways,
Well, there's always 2 sides or 3 sides or 4 sides.
right.
Depends on how many people are involved.
Yep. I find it rather irritating, Tony. The whispering. But it's also, as I get older with a career of shooting guns and blowing stuff up,
You can't hear it.
I find out that maybe people aren't really whispering. What are you guys talking about? Behind my back. Would you quit yelling? Okay.
Can I tell you a funny story?
I don't know. Can you?
Can you? Yeah.
Sidebar. We were like, it's about 22. My buddy had bought an AK and we thought it was so cool, still young. And so we were in a subdivision, but there was a big embankment in his backyard that you could walk down into. And we were, shooting rounds into it, just having fun. No hearing protection, just excited, innocently target practicing in this huge ditch. And I smoked at the time, so we were done shooting the rounds. Still expensive back then, so I walked out front and I was smoking, and I see this patrol car come up, and he's like, "You're the one that called about the gunfire?" And I'm like, "What?" he just looked at me and went, "Never mind." And he rolled up the window.
That's awesome.
Right. That was funny. Yeah.
That's the story of the day right there.
Anyway.
Okay.
What
What you got after 17, 18? Anything jumping out at you?
Brother offers more than you. A brother. Oh no! Never mind.
Okay.
From the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach is satisfied. I'm not really following that either.
Yeah.
And that was which verse?
20.
20. Satisfied with the fruit of his mouth. If you got insight into that, put it in the chat.
Right. Like 21 totally makes sense. I get that. I've changed somebody's stressful day just by giving them kind words.
Yeah.
And while being in line at a grocery store, they were stressed out about the amount of customers and the lack of work. And just saying a few kind words, I think it totally changed their outlook on the rest of their day. Brought their blood pressure down. But I don't get 20.
Okay. That is a bit odd. Too bad someone wasn't here with their Septuagint. All right. Anyways, let's go to 19. And
Oh, wait.
wait, what?
Verse 24.
Okay.
So that just reminded me of Jesus, because he sticks closer than a brother. The first thing I thought of was that,
Yep. There are friends like that.
Mm-hmm. There are. Oh.
There are friends we grew up with that helped us with our brothers. And, okay, let's go to 19.
Sure.
All right, what do we have? Yeah. They're each one is just really, this goes back to what I was saying a little bit ago of talking about, we see these public crimes. Why isn't anything happening to them? right? But a false witness shall not be unpunished, and him that speaketh lies shall not escape.
He that speaketh lies shall perish.
Yep. Excuse me. And then that's repeated again in verse 9, basically paraphrased a bit.
Mm-hmm.
False witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish.
I've noticed a lot of these proverbs have like two or three themes, like in each chapter, like three different conversations at once or whatever. It's kind of like
Right. Well, it's like they're contrasting each clause, the first clause and the second clause of each verse.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine being the court recorder that had to write all this down as Solomon was milling about his palace, just saying these things? I don't know. Maybe he wrote them himself.
It's a bit of a philosopher.
Nope. And that, let's see. There is a lot of scripture that talks about laughter, though. And it's interesting because I think, Landon, weren't you talking about all the people having a great time at Mardi Gras? And they hear laughing and revelry, but far off it sounds like people screaming.
Yeah, so when I recorded for a video of the spirit of Mardi Gras, because you're throwing your hands up, asking a Roman or some sort of pagan god to give you something that's worthless. I mean, the concept of that, it's like hidden worship. But I was walking down Bourbon Street trying to get some video footage, and I didn't even notice it when I was shooting the video. But when I went back to edit it, it just sounded like people screaming in hell, like what I would imagine the suffering of hell sounded like. I couldn't tell the difference. I had this weird, eerie feeling editing that together, that part, because you can see the people in their drunken revelry, like in the video, but it's like the sound of it. It sounded like when they put that microphone down in the earth in Russia before it melted, that it was like almost identical. It just sounded like wails of pain. So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because you talk about that, people, well, come on, let's, throw all your fun stuff off of your float as you go by. In verse 6, though, it says, every man is a friend of him that giveth gifts.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. It's an interesting.
Yep. Pito agrees with you. Mardi Gras is hell. Okay, what else do we have for 19? I know you got something in there. 24 reminded me of all the people that do the Napoleon pose. You see that over and over. The person that puts their hand inside their vest or their coat.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what did they translate as slothful there? Hebrews 6:102. Atsael, indolent. From Hebrews 6:101, to lean idly, that is to be indolent or slack. Okay, where were we? Oh, there it is up there. Indolent. Now I want to look the English up on that. That's right. Tune in for your weekly English lesson. As we try to figure out what the King James Bible says.
No, repeat it in Latin.
Learning to spell with Darnell.
Indolent is wanting to avoid activity or exertion. Lazy.
Ooh.
Oh.
And it's from late Latin. In, meaning not, and dolere, suffer or give pain. Work hurts, man.
Yeah, but you sleep better.
That's true.
Really? Oh, you mean if you would. Okay.
Yeah, all right. And I think we've all seen this in our lives, right? Verse 26. Basically, people that just eat away at their parents.
Yeah, they tend to almost go insane.
The parents?
No, I mean it's the parents to a degree of suffrage, but I'm talking about the adult children that behave that way. They tend to there's like a spirit of just and they're not comprehending anything, and they make decisions irrationally, and they tend to lose their mind.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's go to 20, shall we? Because you guys are getting more and more talkative as we go. All right. Yeah, it is. Just whatever jumps out at you, let me know.
Provokes me. Okay, I get that. Oh, yeah. 2's pretty cut and dry. All right. I was making sure I understood what it was saying, but the second part of that clarifies it.
Right. Who provokes the king to anger sins against his own soul. Now remember.
Oh, mine says forfeits his life.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I was going to say, remember in Genesis when Abba made Adam, he was just a lump of clay until he breathed life into him, and then he became a living soul. So, a roundabout way to get to what it is your translation says there.
Yeah.
And then what was that? There was something jumping out at me here a moment ago. Oh, verse 4. Man, is that the truth, right? The sluggard or the lazy person will not plow by reason of the cold. It's too cold. I'm not going to go to work today. He shall beg and harvest and have nothing. But have is added there. And that Carlene's been hiding in the corner.
Carlene!
Okay. What else is jumping out at you here? We got diverse weights and measures again.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8. What is number 8? What does yours say?
A king that sits on the throne of judgment scatters away all evil with his eyes.
Mine says winnows all evil with his eyes. I just didn't know what the word winnows meant.
Yeah. That's
tear down, make smaller. Is it?
Well, I know you can winnow wheat, right? It's the same thing as when you throw the wheat up in the air and the wind blows the chaff away. That's called winnowing. Pretty cool, huh?
Let me show you a painting later. Sorry.
Okay.
Winnow wheat penny.
The painting, not penny.
Oh,
All right. What else? Talk to me, kids.
14.
Okay.
So what is that? The buyer saying, "Oh, I'm losing so much money off you," but then when he goes away, he's like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey." You know. That reminds me of the sales in the stores. You know, they just jack up the prices and then they give you the money's off, and they're not losing anything.
Yep. Well, I remember, what was that? Was it Osco? That drugstore we used to have out here? When they went out of business, the employees were saying, man, they're having us go and raise the prices to like double, and then we're giving them, 25% off for clearance.
Smaller bottle too.
Yeah.
Weights and measures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how any of that, unless it's a mom and pop operation, I still don't believe any of it's profitable.
Right. Yeah, I have my wonders about it.
Oh, they're not really though. The grocery stores, they don't really. They're not
17.
that profitable. They're just not.
17 is worded oddly in the King James. Bread of deceit, sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel.
I wonder what gravel was back in Solomon's day. Well, I guess they'd have a pit after all the
Here we go. There it is.
stones and all that.
Right? Yeah. Well, they must have used it.
Right.
Yeah. Cutting, gravel, grit, or an arrow.
Ooh.
We just threw that in there, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't want your mouth to be filled with an arrow.
All right. Anything else jumping out at you on this? Aside from 29?
I was just looking at that going, are we there yet?
The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Yep. I want to keep that strength as long as possible. Okay. You got anything else, Landon?
For 20?
Yeah, for 20?
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, I was thinking about something, but I didn't really have anything to add to it.
Okay. Lynn?
Hmm?
Yep, I agree, Ren. Same for women, right? Somewhere else in Proverbs it says, the hoary head is a crown when worn in righteousness. Talking about gray. Hoary means gray. Hoar, like hoarfrost.
That is 1631. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. So there's your little caveat right there.
Yep. If. So, what do they mean? They mean all these gray old women. Look, she's 70 years old and she's in Playboy. Does that count?
No, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, good.
They're required to fill their head with chemicals to well, I mean, it's what it, I get it. It looks pretty, but you fill it with chemicals, so the world pretends to compliment you and love you when they don't actually love you in the first place.
This is true. This is true. Okay, well, thank you for reading, Landon. Thank you for reading, Lynn.
Welcome.
Everybody, thanks for coming today. If we've been helpful to you, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell thingy. If you want to read, you know how to do it. Email plainflyer21yahoo.com. and then you can come read.
Yep.
That or not.
Well,
It'll
it makes
get-
our study way better.
It does. It
It
does.
helps. It helps.
Okay, everybody, we love you all. We'll talk to you soon.